Hello Blender friends and welcome to another Super 3 Boy Blender tutorial. In today's tutorial we're just going to get our feet wet with an advanced feature, Blender Nodes. Now a lot of you have been requesting that I make a in-depth game tutorial, and so that's what I'm going to do in the next batch of tutorials. I'm going to make a series of tutorials on making a game in Blender. Now, I've decided that I'm going to let you guys pick the genre of the game, whether it be an FPS or a racing game or whatever. And so I have a topic on Nistic that's in the YouTube video description that you can click on there. And it'll take you to a poll where you can vote on the genre and give some details of things you would like to see in a game tutorial. So don't forget to vote. It ends in 12 days, I believe now. So don't forget to vote so the game doesn't turn out to be about pink ponies instead of some cool FPS or something like that. So let's go ahead and get started on our Blender tutorial today. We have our default cube, keeping that today. So what we're going to go over here is to the bottom left. We're going to click here and go up to Node Editor and click on that. So we have what looks like a regular grid here, and we're going to go down to near our editing place here and click on Composite Nodes, this little face looking button. And still nothing happens. Then we're going to go over here and click on Use Nodes. And so two nodes will appear. We're going to drag one over, another over more to the center of the screen just for my liking. So we see our two nodes here. This one here says composite. This is COM. I'm going to make it a little larger so you can see it. Composite. This is our kind of final product of the actual nodes that we're doing. Here's our render layer. That's the image that we render. If we were to hit F12, it would show up here, and we can make modifications to that to get our final thing here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to hit this little picture looking thing here, re-render this layer, and we can already see that's a bit too big for our purposes here. So I'm going to go over to just the scene button here and scale the resolution down to about 50% of 600 by 800. And so we'll just re-click on that here, and you can see our rendered cube. So from there we can just close this out, and we can look. We have our two nodes, render layer and composite, and you can see this little line, kind of just like in our game engine tutorial where we connected the two different boxes together to do things. This kind of works the same way. We just want to create this image. We just want to connect this image dot to this other image dot using this line here. If I drag over this, it'll appear, a little paintbrush will appear, and it'll get rid of the line. And so we can just go up to image, click on it, drag it across, and it'll highlight the image little dot when you're over it, and let go, and they'll be connected. And so we have a render layer, and we'll link here, and it goes to our final version or composite. So from there, we're gonna apply some filters to this. So we're gonna just drag over this line here, and release your mouse, and then we just get rid of that line. So we hit add. I just hit spacebar. Add. We want to add a filter. We're just gonna play with two filters here. The first filter is going to be a blur. As you can see, it automatically goes from the image to the image dot. If it's not already, you just drag in the little dot over here to the other one, and we have to do it for this one. So just click here, drag across, drop it on that dot. Simple as that. So we have a render layer, our blur, and our composite all in a row from left to right here. So what we do, we can add a blur like you could do in Photoshop or any other image editing program, but now we can do it in Blender. So the only thing we have to do here is edit these There's a ton of different options here, but we can just edit the X and Y values to see how much we can blur it. So for example, we have our regular sharp looking cube here, and by increasing it by just changing these to 10, as it goes farther and farther up, it'll blur it more and more. So for example, I don't know about the YouTube compression if you can see this good or not, but the cube is really blurred compared to our original image that's nice and sharp and good over here. So that's one thing you can do, and there's different types of blur filters that you can kind of play with. If you want to add a blur to your render, you can just play with these different types of blurs to get just the kind of one you want. But the default is flat, and it seems to work fine. So after that, we're just going to experiment with one more filter here. Get rid of these lines. Click on the blur so it's selected. Hit delete. Add. And then we're going to add another filter and directional blur. So we both go ahead and click, we connect our image to image again. And then what we want to do, we want to make this increases distance tab here. So you can see it's a little weird. And what we do, we increase the alliterations, which is a little better there. About 4 is good, and click wrap. So there's not any weird things on the edges here. And as you can see, it looks like it has a kind of a blur, like it's moving in one direction. But what we want to do, if we wanted to make it look like it's falling, right now it looks like it's shooting off to the left or right. If we want to make it look like it's falling, all you have to do is adjust this angle here. And I just put it at 90, and you can put it all different directions, and it'll look like it's falling from or moving from different places. So you can see it just kind of looks like it's falling here now. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys learned a little bit and just got an introduction to Nodes. Nodes is pretty complex, and so it will take a while for you to kind of play around with Nodes and get used to it. So this is just, again, a simple tutorial, and I hope you just play around with Nodes, and it can really help improve your images with compositing with Nodes. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new tutorials. So anyways, Super 3 Boy out.